Hollywood is reeling after heartbreaking news about beloved actress Kathy Bates, who has reportedly been forced to say goodbye to acting following a tragic diagnosis. Known for her powerhouse performances in Misery, Titanic, and American Horror Story, Bates has long been one of Hollywood's most respected and resilient figures. Yet behind her fierce spirit and sharp wit, she has faced an ongoing battle that few fans truly understood, one that has now taken an emotional and devastating turn. At 76, Kathy Bates has spent more than 4 decades captivating audiences with her raw emotion and fearless honesty. She's portrayed everything from villains to heroes, mothers to murderers, always bringing authenticity to every role she touched. But in recent months, those close to her began to notice a change. Appearances grew rarer, interviews shorter, and her once unstoppable energy seemed to fade. Now, sources close to the actress confirm that Kathy's health struggles have worsened, forcing her to quietly step back from the career she loves. This isn't the first time Bates has faced a life-threatening battle. Fans remember her previous fights with cancer, first ovarian, then breast, both of which she overcame with remarkable courage. But insiders say this new diagnosis has been especially difficult, both physically and emotionally. Despite the pain, Kathy has remained graceful, expressing gratitude for her long career and the fans who have supported her every step of the way. She's always been a fighter, one longtime friend shared. Even now, she's facing everything with strength and humor. But it's clear she's preparing to say goodbye to acting, and that's breaking her heart. As Hollywood rallies around one of its greatest talents, Kathy Bates' story stands as a testament to resilience, artistry, and the bittersweet beauty of a life lived fully, even in the face of tragedy. For decades, Kathy Bates has been one of Hollywood's most commanding presences, a performer whose name alone guaranteed authenticity, intensity, and heart. From her chilling, Oscar-winning turn as Annie Wilkes in Misery to her beloved roles in Titanic, Fried Green Tomatoes, and American Horror Story, Bates built a career that few could match. Yet behind that fierce exterior, the acclaimed actress was quietly fighting battles most people never knew about, battles that would eventually lead her to make one of the hardest decisions of her life. It began subtly. A missed event here, a canceled interview there. Fans noticed that Kathy, once known for her fiery energy and bold personality, was appearing less frequently in public. While many assumed it was age catching up, those close to her knew something deeper was going on. She had been struggling with chronic pain, fatigue, and recurring health issues that were starting to interfere with her ability to work. Kathy's first health scare came years ago when she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, a battle she fought privately and won after grueling rounds of surgery and chemotherapy. Just when she thought she had beaten it for good, life struck again, this time with breast cancer. She chose a double mastectomy, refusing to let fear dictate her choices. Her courage inspired millions. "I'm not my breasts," she famously told an interviewer. "I'm still the same woman, just lighter." But in the years that followed, new complications began to surface. The treatments that had saved her life also left her with lasting damage, most notably lymphedema, a painful and chronic condition that caused severe swelling and limited her movement. She continued to work through the pain, never wanting sympathy. "If I can make people laugh or cry for 2 hours, that's the best medicine," she once said. Still, as the years went by, her resilience began to meet its limits. Friends revealed that in the past year, Kathy's health had taken a serious downturn. She had been in and out of treatment, trying to manage symptoms while maintaining her trademark strength. Yet behind closed doors, there were moments of exhaustion, fear, and reflection. Moments where she began to question whether it was time to step away from the spotlight. She would never admit it, but you could see it in her eyes, said one longtime friend. She wasn't the same Kathy who could spend 12 hours on set without missing a beat. The body that once carried her through decades of powerful roles was finally demanding rest. Kathy herself has always faced adversity with humor and grace. She joked about aging, about pain, about the cruel tricks life can play. But beneath the laughter was a woman coming to terms with change. Sources close to her say that after her most recent diagnosis, Kathy made a difficult but clear decision to quietly say goodbye to acting, focusing instead on her health, her family, and the causes closest to her heart. It was a private choice, one made without fanfare or press conferences. She reportedly told close friends, "I've given my all to this business. Maybe it's time I start giving something back to myself." Now, as Hollywood begins to understand the gravity of her decision, tributes are pouring in from fans and colleagues alike. Meryl Streep called her a fearless artist who never took the easy route, while Ryan Murphy, who worked with her on American Horror Story, said, "Kathy Bates is a master of emotion, the kind of actor you never forget once you've seen her work." Though she may have stepped away from the screen, Kathy's legacy is far from over. Her story, one of defiance, vulnerability, and unmatched artistry, continues to inspire those who face their own struggles. And while she may be saying goodbye to acting, her strength reminds the world that sometimes the bravest performance of all happens when the cameras stop rolling. When news of Kathy Bates's diagnosis became public, the reaction across Hollywood and beyond was instant and emotional. Fans who had admired her fierce performances for years were stunned to learn that behind her fearless roles, she had been silently enduring so much pain. Known for her unflinching honesty, Kathy didn't sugarcoat the truth. She chose to face it head-on, the same way she had faced every obstacle in her extraordinary life. It all began when rumors started circulating about her declining health. Photos showed her noticeably thinner, walking with visible discomfort, yet always greeting fans with a smile. When she finally addressed the public, her statement was simple but deeply moving. "I've fought a lot of battles in my life," she said. "Some I won, some I survived. But this time I need to rest. My body's tired, but my spirit isn't broken." Those words immediately resonated with millions. Kathy went on to share that her chronic lymphedema and other related complications had worsened significantly. The condition, which developed after her cancer surgeries, had begun to severely affect her mobility and strength. "It's like carrying a heavy weight every day," she explained. But you learn to live with it. You learn to smile through it. What made her revelation even more powerful was her refusal to let it define her. Instead of retreating completely, Kathy turned her struggle into advocacy. She became an outspoken voice for the Lymphatic Education and Research Network, raising awareness about a condition that affects millions yet is rarely discussed publicly. "I can't change what's happening to me," she said in a televised interview, "but I can help others find hope through it." The Hollywood community responded with overwhelming support. Messages poured in from friends, co-stars, and fans. Jessica Lange, her American Horror Story co-star, described her as a warrior in every sense, on screen and off. Even actors who had never worked with her publicly expressed admiration for her courage. Emma Roberts tweeted, "Kathy Bates has always been my hero. She taught us that strength and vulnerability can exist in the same breath." For Kathy's longtime fans, this revelation only deepened their love for her. They flooded social media with clips of her most powerful performances, from her unforgettably terrifying turn in Misery to her soulful portrayal in Fried Green Tomatoes. Hashtags like "Talk We Love You Kathy" and "Talk Stay Strong Kathy Bates" trended for days. The outpouring of emotion proved that Kathy's impact went far beyond acting. She had become a symbol of resilience. Close friends say that the outpouring of love deeply touched her. "She couldn't believe how many people cared," said a family member. Kathy always saw herself as a character actress, not a star. But this reminded her just how many lives she had touched. Still, the decision to retire was not easy. Acting had been her life for over 40 years, her purpose, her passion, her escape. But Kathy knew the time had come. "I'm not leaving because I'm sad," she said. "I'm leaving because I want to remember this career with joy, not pain." Even in the face of her diagnosis, her humor remained intact. During an interview shortly before stepping away from public life, she quipped, "If I can't terrify audiences on screen anymore, maybe I'll just write a scary book instead." The crowd laughed. But beneath the joke was a quiet truth. Kathy Bates was preparing for a new chapter, one centered on peace, healing, and reflection. Hollywood may never see another performer quite like her. Kathy wasn't defined by glamour or fame. She was defined by truth. Her performances didn't just entertain, they moved people. And now her honesty about her struggles is doing the same. As one of her close friends put it best, Kathy Bates doesn't need to act anymore. She's already shown the world what strength looks like. And she's still doing it, even as she says goodbye. In the weeks following Kathy Bates's heartbreaking announcement, Hollywood began what could only be described as a collective farewell. It wasn't the kind filled with tears alone. It was one full of gratitude, admiration, and awe. Because when a performer like Kathy Bates says goodbye, it isn't just the end of a career. It's the closing of a remarkable chapter in Hollywood history, tributes poured in from every corner of the entertainment world. Directors, actors, and fans shared their memories of working with or being inspired by her. Ryan Murphy, the creator of American Horror Story, called her one of the purest talents of our time, fearless, funny, and unforgettable. He shared how Kathy would often stay on set long after filming ended, offering advice to younger actors and joking with the crew. She didn't just play characters, he said. She lived them, every line, every emotion, every heartbreak. Meryl Streep described her as a rare performer who could command a room with a whisper. Emma Thompson added, "She never acted from vanity, only from truth." Even younger stars like Jennifer Lawrence and Sarah Paulson expressed how Kathy paved the way for women in Hollywood to be powerful, complex, and unapologetically real. At the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, a private tribute was held in her honor, a room filled with those who knew her best. Clips from her most iconic roles played on the screen: the chilling glare of Annie Wilkes in Misery, the compassion of Evelyn Couch in Fried Green Tomatoes, the strength of Molly Brown in Titanic, and the deliciously dark humor of her characters in American Horror Story. As each scene rolled, laughter and tears intertwined, reminding everyone why Kathy Bates was, and always will be, one of Hollywood's most treasured artists. What made the night especially moving was that it wasn't just about her achievements. It was about her humanity. Several colleagues shared stories of how Kathy was the first to comfort a nervous co-star or lift the spirits of a struggling crew member. "She had this motherly warmth," said actress Angela Bassett. "But she also had this mischievous sparkle, like she knew something funny about life the rest of us hadn't figured out yet." Fans across the world organized their own tributes. In Los Angeles, hundreds gathered outside the TCL Chinese Theater, lighting candles and leaving handwritten notes along the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In New York, Broadway performers held a special benefit night, singing songs from movies and plays that Kathy had once graced. Online, fans created video compilations of her greatest moments, set to her own inspiring quotes about perseverance and courage. One message, shared thousands of times, read, "You showed us that real beauty isn't perfection. It's honesty." Through all of it, Kathy remained humble and private, occasionally sending short messages to fans thanking them for their love. "You've all given me more joy than you'll ever know," she wrote in one heartfelt note. "I'm proud of the work, but I'm prouder of the people it touched." For those who had known her personally, these tributes were bittersweet. Friends described feeling both proud and heartbroken. "It's hard to imagine a world without Kathy on screen," one close friend said. "But then again, she's in every movie, every line, every story she ever told." Indeed, Kathy Bates's presence in film is eternal. Her performances are studied in acting schools, quoted in pop culture, and remembered by generations of movie lovers. She redefined what it meant to be a leading woman, not through glamour, but through authenticity and emotional depth. She didn't chase fame. She chased truth. As one journalist wrote, when Kathy Bates acted, "You didn't watch a performance. You witnessed a person's soul." And now, even as she steps away from the spotlight, her influence continues to ripple across the world of storytelling. Because true legends don't disappear when the cameras stop rolling. They linger in the hearts of those who believed in their magic. Hollywood may have said goodbye, but Kathy Bates will never truly be gone. Her voice, her laughter, and her strength remain forever part of the world she helped shape, a world made brighter because she dared to live, love, and perform without fear. As the world begins to accept that Kathy Bates has stepped away from the spotlight, one truth remains undeniable. Her legacy is far greater than the sum of her roles. She didn't just act. She transformed every scene she was in. From her first major role in Misery to her final appearances in American Horror Story, Kathy's journey wasn't just about fame or awards. It was about leaving behind something deeply human. And now, even as she says goodbye, that legacy continues to shine brighter than ever. In her private life, Kathy has always been remarkably humble. Away from the cameras, she preferred quiet evenings at home with close friends, good food, and a stack of classic films. Her family shared that in her final weeks of filming. She spoke often about gratitude. Gratitude for the fans who supported her, for the co-stars who inspired her, and for the simple joy of having lived her dream. "I've been blessed," she told a close friend. "Some people spend their whole lives chasing what I got to live every single day." But Kathy's story isn't just about success, it's about survival. She faced illnesses that would have broken many, yet she turned her pain into purpose. After being diagnosed with lymphedema, she became one of its most vocal advocates, determined to raise awareness and fight for better treatment for others. "If I can use my voice to help even one person feel less alone," she said, "then that's the best role I'll ever play." Her advocacy work continues through the Kathy Bates Lymphedema Foundation, which her family has vowed to carry forward. The foundation aims to fund research, provide support for patients, and ensure that Kathy's mission of compassion and empowerment never fades. She wanted people to know that strength isn't the absence of pain, her sister shared. It's choosing to keep going despite it. Even in retirement, Kathy remains an inspiration to generations of actors. Young performers often cite her as a role model, someone who proved that talent, not appearance or glamour, is what truly defines greatness. Acting schools across the country have begun using her career as a study in emotional authenticity. Professors teach that Kathy Bates didn't perform characters, she became them. Hollywood itself is planning a long-term tribute to her career. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has announced a Lifetime of Truth Award in her honor, a new category that will recognize actors who demonstrate authenticity, courage, and depth, much like Kathy herself. Her closest friends say she was deeply moved when she learned about it, simply saying, "If it helps another woman believe she belongs here, then that's all that matters." At her home, her family keeps a small table covered in memories. Her Oscar, photos with co-stars, and handwritten notes from fans she saved over the years. One of them reads, "You made me believe I was enough." That message, her family says, captures everything Kathy stood for. She didn't chase perfection. She celebrated imperfection, showing that real beauty lies in truth, humor, and courage. In a recent interview, one of her close friends shared what Kathy said about her legacy shortly before her final retirement. "I don't want to be remembered for just one role. I want people to remember that I cared, about people, about stories, about life, and that's exactly how the world will remember her. Not just as Annie Wilkes or Molly Brown or Madame LaLaurie, but as a woman who gave everything to her craft and lived with heart, integrity, and humor until the very end. Kathy Bates may have said goodbye to acting, but she hasn't said goodbye to us. Her laughter still echoes through her films, her courage still inspires millions, and her words continue to heal those facing battles of their own. She once said, "We're all a little broken, but maybe that's what makes us beautiful." 3 words now define her legacy: strength, honesty, and love. And as the curtain falls on one of the greatest careers in Hollywood history, Kathy Bates' story reminds us that while an actor's time on screen may end, the impact of their truth lives on forever.